Hello everyone, and thanks for coming back. Today, we will explore one of the most dangerous and difficult jobs in the world, fishing off the coast of Alaska. In this video, you will witness the brave fishermen working tirelessly on giant boats to catch hundreds of tons of shrimp, crab and fish every day. From bottom trawls, nets, giant traps to processing the fish right on the boat. We will record every step, taking you on a challenging and interesting journey. Let's learn about the difficult but optimistic life of fishermen, as well as the value they bring to the global seafood industry. Let's start this journey. Before the sun rose, the fishing port was bustling. Modern shrimp fishing boats, tens of meters long, were preparing for a long journey at sea. These were not small boats that only went out for a day, but large-capacity boats that could operate continuously for several weeks or even months in the middle of the ocean. On board, each person had a specific task. Some crew members checked the engine and communication system, ensuring that the boat could operate smoothly when going out to sea. Others checked the trawl nets, one of the most important tools in shrimp fishing. The trawl nets were huge, hundreds of meters long, and were specially designed to sweep across the seabed and collect shrimp effectively. In addition, there were purse seines and seine nets. These types of nets were used when fishing for shrimp in the middle or near the surface of the water. Each type of net was carefully maintained to avoid tearing when used at sea. Food and water are also essential, since the journey can last for days or weeks. The crew must bring enough food, from vegetables to frozen meat and fish. In particular, coffee and tea are indispensable on board, helping the fishermen stay awake during long shifts. When everything is ready, the ship slowly leaves the port, heading out into the vast ocean. For many fishermen, the moment the ship leaves shore always brings excitement, but also a lot of anxiety. Will this trip be smooth? Will they encounter storms or mechanical problems? But everyone hopes that this trip will be a bumper season. After many hours of traveling, the ship finally reaches the shrimp-rich sea. This fishing ground has been identified in advance using modern detection equipment such as sonar, radar, water temperature gauge and biomass scanner. These devices help to locate areas with a lot of shrimp, optimize fishing efficiency, and avoid wasting time searching. Once the correct coordinates are reached, the captain orders the trawl to be deployed. This is a complex process, requiring close coordination between the crew. The net is slowly lowered into the water, stretching along the seabed, while the ship moves at a steady speed so that the net can sweep through areas with a lot of shrimp. The trawling process can last from a few dozen minutes to a few hours, depending on the density of shrimp in that area. When the desired amount of shrimp has been collected, the net begins to be pulled up. This is when the crew on board must work at full capacity. Cranes and electric winches are used to pull the net weighing several tons onto the deck. When the net is pulled up from the water, hundreds of tons of fresh shrimp appear. Some shrimps are still jumping around, creating a very lively scene. The fishermen quickly collect the shrimps into containers, sort them and put them in ice tanks to preserve their freshness. If the weather conditions are favorable, the boats will continue to deploy their nets several times a day to achieve maximum yield. On productive fishing days, some boats catch hundreds of tons of shrimps in just one day, bringing in huge income. Shrimp fishing is not only a way to make a living but also a physical and mental challenge. Fishermen have to work in harsh conditions, from big waves, strong winds to the bone-chilling cold of the ocean. On rough seas, the boats rock violently, making work on deck more dangerous than ever. Just a little carelessness can cause a person to be knocked down by the waves or fall into the sea. Therefore, there are always strict safety rules on board, from wearing life jackets to using safety ropes when working near the edge of the ship. In addition, working continuously for many hours is also a big challenge. A shift can last from 12 to 16 hours. And there are even days when fishermen only sleep for a few hours and then continue working. Fatigue is inevitable, but they still have to try because every minute at sea has great economic value. As soon as the shrimp are pulled onto the deck, the processing and preservation process begins. The goal is to keep the shrimp as fresh as possible before bringing them to market. Most modern shrimp fishing vessels are equipped with a quick freezing system, which helps the shrimp maintain their quality for a long time. Some ships also have onboard processing lines where shrimp are cleaned, graded and packaged before being shipped to the mainland. Shrimp are graded based on size and quality. Large, beautiful, undamaged shrimp are put into special holding tanks to be sold at a higher price. Smaller shrimp can be used for other processing ingredients such as frozen shrimp, peeled shrimp or shrimp for animal feed. After days at sea with nets full of shrimp, fishermen continue on a new journey, a hunt that is not dangerous but profound, deep-sea crab fishing. In the cold waters off Alaska, crabs such as king crabs and snow crabs live on the ocean floor. Where the water temperature is extremely low and the conditions are harsh. To catch these crabs, fishermen cannot use nets or lines, but must use visible bait platforms that can withstand strong water pressure and the power of fierce waves. In the middle of the Butterfly Ocean, each horn weighing hundreds of kilograms is dropped to a depth of hundreds of meters. Each is filled with bait, usually fresh fish or salmon heads, to attract the crabs to crawl inside. When the boats have rested on the seabed for hours or even days, The crew begins the work of pulling them up. This job requires precision and strength, because each car weighs more than half a ton when pulled to the surface. Especially when there is relief supplies inside to fight. The workers on the deck have to work continuously in the bitter cold, checking each crab, ensuring that only those that meet the size standards are kept, while those that are too small are allowed to return to the sea to protect the long-term resource. Each time a box of beauty is pulled up, it is a thrilling moment. Sometimes, the cage can contain hundreds of crabs stacked on top of each other. But sometimes it only has a few crabs or is even empty. Crab fishing is not only based on experience but also a battle with nature, where each net, each cage is a gamble. The sea is never a gentle one. While the traps are deep in the ocean, the fishermen face rough waves, strong winds, and bitter cold on the surface. In Alaska, the weather changes quickly. 1 minute the sky may be clear, but the next, a blizzard can strike, turning the deck into a brutal arena where every step could cause a crew member to slip or even be swept into the sea as the ship sways in the high waves. The crew works tirelessly. Hydraulic winches work hard to pull each trap from the water. Cold water sprays as the traps are brought to the deck, dragging along giant crabs with claws strong enough to break protective gloves. Each crab lifted from the cage undergoes a rigorous inspection. Only those that meet the size standards are kept. While small crabs or female crabs carrying eggs are released back into the sea to protect long-term aquatic resources. This is not only a strict regulation of the fishing industry but also the responsibility of fishermen to maintain the sustainability of the profession. Time is gold, the process of preserving fresh live crab. After being selected, crabs that meet the standards will be quickly put into large seawater tanks on board or packed in cold storage boxes to maintain freshness. If crabs are not properly preserved, their commercial value can be significantly reduced. While fishermen are working hard at sea, at fishing ports, purchasing and processing companies are ready to wait for the freshest batches of crabs. Once the boats dock, the crabs are immediately transported to processing plants, where they can be exported whole or processed into high-value products such as canned crab meat, frozen shell crabs, or delicacies for high-end restaurants. Crab fishing not only provides a large source of income for fishermen, but also makes an important contribution to the economy. King crab and snow crab are luxury items, with high prices on the international market. A large king crab can cost hundreds of dollars, making crabbing one of the most profitable industries. However, The price to pay for this job is not small. Crab fishing is one of the most dangerous occupations in the world. According to statistics, every year there are accidents on crab fishing vessels, disappearances, injuries, and even deaths. People in this profession not only need good physical strength but also courage and iron will to face the harsh challenges of the sea. After a long journey of shrimping and crabbing, we continue our journey with American fishermen, entering one of the largest fishing methods, bottom trawling. This is how fishermen can harvest hundreds of tons of fish in just one trip, meeting the huge demand of domestic and international markets. The giant fishing vessel is heading to the rich fishing grounds off the coast of Alaska, where giant schools of cod, pollock, halibut and many other commercial fish are concentrated. On board, dozens of crew members are ready. Positioning equipment, fish finding radar and trawling systems are thoroughly tested. When the signal from the sonar system shows a giant school of fish moving below, the order is given, drop the net. Bottom trawling is one of the most popular and effective fishing methods for fish that live near the seabed. A giant net, hundreds of meters long, is lowered and expanded thanks to two heavy net doors. As the ship moves, the net begins to drag along the water, gathering all the fish within its range. A super strong towing system helps control the net, ensuring that it does not break or get stuck on the seabed. Each pull can take from 3 to 5 hours. And when the net is pulled up, a magnificent sight appears, hundreds of tons of fish wriggling, creating a vivid picture in the middle of the vast ocean. As soon as the net is pulled up to the deck, the fish processing steps take place immediately. Fish sorting, fish are transferred to the conveyor belt, where workers quickly sort each type by size and type. Processing and preservation, qualified fish will be cleaned, filleted or frozen right on board to keep them fresh. Some smaller or substandard fish may be processed into fish meal or fish oil. Packaging and storage, fish are put into freezers with extremely low temperatures, preparing for the journey back to port. On deck, each fisherman has to work non-stop. Fish weighing tens of kilograms are continuously transferred into the hold, while seawater floods the deck, mixing with the characteristic fresh fish smell of a successful fishing trip. Bottom trawling is not easy. Fishermen face countless challenges. Severe weather in the Alaskan Sea. Big storms can strike at any time, turning the sea surface into a fierce battlefield with waves tens of meters high. Risk of accidents, bottom trawls are extremely heavy. If not careful, fishermen can be caught in the drag line, or even fall into the sea. High work intensity, a shift lasts 16 to 18 hours, with continuous intensity, requiring absolute health and endurance. But despite these hardships, fishermen remain optimistic and committed to their profession. They understand that each full catch of fish not only brings in a rich source of income, but also contributes to providing food for millions of people around the world. After many days at sea, when the holds are full of fish, fishing boats will return to port. Here, hundreds of workers unload fish from the boat onto trucks to be taken to processing plants or shipped directly to major markets such as the US, Japan, and Europe. Some of the fish will be filleted and packaged for export, while others will be processed into products such as frozen fish, dried fish, fish meal, and fish oil, serving the global food and seafood industry. From small shrimp fishing boats to large crab fishing boats, and now giant bottom trawling boats, all create a vivid picture of the US seafood industry. Despite the difficulties, fishermen still work hard at sea, bringing in abundant seafood resources, contributing greatly to the economy. The vast ocean still has countless things waiting to be discovered, and fishermen, with courage and love for the profession, will continue to conquer new challenges to bring full catches of fish from the ocean to the dining tables of people around the world. Search,